It's the outcome so many people were hoping for, a guilty verdict for the 3 men who killed Ahmaud Arbery.
And all 3 are now convicted in that killing. This morning, the lead prosecutor in the case is walking us through the strategy that she used to get justice for Ahmaud Arbery and for his family. Christy Diaz joins us in studio with more from Senior Assistant District Attorney Linda Donikoski, who works in the Cobb County DA's office. Christy.
We sat down with her one-on-one, the prosecutor and her team, to talk about how they spent months building the case against the McMichaels and William Bryan. And in the end, with 3 guilty verdicts, all of that hard work paid off.
I can't tell you how many times I rewrote that closing argument.
Prosecutor Linda Donikoski says it was a team effort, months in the making, after wading through mountains of evidence.
Our evidence list, over 400 exhibits. So we had quite a bit. The jury had quite a bit to review.
They painstakingly took the jury through each one. The video was a key piece of evidence, but they believe their case was so strong, they could have won without it.
Because everyone knows that Ahmaud Arbery did not start this.
They say they weren't surprised that the defense tried to paint Arbery as a criminal, or tried to remove black pastors from the courtroom, or struck most of the black jurors. They methodically broke down each of those arguments, and the jury agreed the 3 men committed murder.
When people look back, they will see the teamwork that went into this in order for us to get justice for Ahmaud and for his family.
And they hope this verdict sends a message not to take the law into your own hands. Cheryl.
You know, Christy, it's significant. The verdict is significant, and then also thinking about, because of this case, Georgia now has a hate crime law and repealed its citizens arrest law. So, boy, for so many reasons, this journey has been very significant.
Right? The fact that what they were litigating doesn't even exist in Georgia law anymore. Yeah, very significant.
No doubt. Thank you, Christy.
So this is how it looked outside the courtroom yesterday as the verdict came down. You could hear cheers and chants roaring as people celebrated justice being served. However, it was a different scene here in Atlanta. Things were a bit quiet, but when 11 Alive's Paula Suro asked how Atlantans felt, they had a lot to say. We are Where Atlanta Speaks. Take a listen.
People from different cities, backgrounds, and ages.
I am totally thrilled, and I'm
surprised,
feeling a similar way.
So I was quite relieved to see that that was the case, particularly after the Kyle Rittenhouse story.
A calm Atlanta after a 12-person jury found Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan guilty of murder.
if they'd have came back not guilty, they'd have tore the city up.
This verdict making some people, like Griff Derryberry, who's visiting from California, reflect.
I'm the most privileged person in the world, right? Just by my race. I wish it weren't that way. I just want justice for what's going on. And I feel, powerless to do things other than, trying to vote and trying to be, allies to people.
Looking back, some worried about the jury.
There was one black and everybody else was white, and I would thought it was going to be a bit biased, but, justice prevailed.
even when people thought that the jury and the way it was chosen wasn't necessarily fair, but it said something good because of that if it was not as many minorities, but the people stood for the truth, then I'm hoping that that's the direction that we're going in, because we're such a diverse state.
And looking forward, some including 43-year-old Ticket, a street poet,
A certain demographic of people whose idiosyncrasies and normalcies
hopes people realize the world is not black and white.
Forget about the racism. Just start looking at people on the exterior as, human beings,
There was a lot of emotion as those deliberations were going on, because a lot of people said they were nervous before the verdicts were read, especially after that 12-person jury acquitted Kyle Rittenhouse just last week there in Wisconsin.
Let's take a look at what comes next for the 3 convicted murderers. After they are sentenced, they will schedule to have a second trial. This second trial will be on federal hate crime charges. The date's already set for that. It's February 7th. It will also be in Brunswick. Former federal prosecutor Brett Williams of Atlanta says if the men are convicted of count 1 of the federal indictment alone, the penalty is life in prison. Williams says even if the judge decides they can be eligible for parole, the law requires that they serve a minimum of 30 years in state prison. For now, the attorneys for all 3 convicted killers say they will appeal the murder conviction that was handed down yesterday. Wanda Cooper Jones, Ahmaud Arbery's mother, speaks out this morning on the Today Show just one day after 3 men found guilty of killing her son. That's coming up after our 11 Alive morning news. And in the meantime, you can go to the 11 Alive YouTube channel for all of our coverage from after the verdict, including our exclusive one-on-one with the team of prosecutors.
The time right now is